Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts, America's Still Beautiful podcast, a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts, America's Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today.
Welcome to the GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Alyssa Jo. Lamont Thomas, a longtime foster father, just recently added 5 more children under his home. They were all siblings under the age of 5. Lamont actually began fostering children in 2000 and has since welcomed more than 30 kids into his home, which is actually crazy. He only started fostering because he was helping out some friends. They had lost their child to the system, so he got certified and became a foster parent. But he just never stopped. He fell in love with fostering these children. So these 5 siblings that he recently just took into his home, they were separated for more than a year and a half and had spent time in 4 different homes in 4 different cities before Lamont came in and took them under his wing. So all of them are under 5 years old. Zendaya, who's 5, Jamal 4, Nakia 3, Major 2, and Michaela 1. This is just... So he has brought them into his home, but it was a long journey to get them there. He actually fought for close to 2.5 years just to be able to get them together. But yes, they did finally when he got it. He says, I just wanted to be the difference. I wanted to make a difference by being a difference for these youth. You know, going into this system would not be easy, and being separated from your siblings, would just make it so much harder. So Lamont really took them under the wing. He fought for them to all be under the same home. And now they are being taken care of by Lamont, who is just passionate about helping these young kids. So wonderful. Connecting to all these amazing children's stories, there is this little boy. He is 5 years old. His name is Jeremiah Travis, and he has been offered a full band scholarship to Alcorn State University in Mississippi. This little 5-year-old is a drummer genius. He started beating on ABC blocks as a baby and has since then not stopped beating on stuff. He's going to be graduating in 2032, and he has the opportunity, if he chooses, of course, to play in the Sounds of Dynamite band. Has a full ride scholarship to Alcorn State University, and he's basically set up at 5 years old. His mother, Nicole Jackson, is a mother of 3, and she's taken out loans to help her 21-year-old daughter go through college, but she's not going to have to do that for little Jeremiah. I guess Jeremiah's skills does not just end at drumming. He actually has a incredible work ethic. So he's always working on his skills. So little Jeremiah Travis is actually a snare drummer at St. Helena College and Career Academy in Greensburg, Louisiana. He wows and dazzles crowds with his performances in halftime and sideline shows, including the New Orleans Pelicans basketball games. This little boy is crazy. Not only is he amazing at the drums, but he also has an incredible work ethic. As most kids his age are playing with toys, video games, or watching some kind of TV show, little Jeremiah is always working on his skills. His mother says he has no interest for video games longer than 15 minutes. All he wants to do is just beat on something or get up and learn something new. He's always moving around. He's always trying new things. And he actually does practice with people that are 10 years older than him, at least, or more, and triple his size. Each day he's surrounded by these band members that are just amazed by him. The band director at St. Helena College and Career Academy and former band director at Elkhorn State University said that his just work ethic is really what makes him who he is. He's always working on his skills any free time in the band room or when they go on break. He's always drumming on the floor, getting other drummers to come and just ask, can we play? Can we play? He never takes a break. He's always beating on something. It is incredible. He just does not want to stop. I cannot imagine where this little boy is going to go in years to come. He's only 5 years old, and with a work ethic like that, he is definitely going to be big. So when the percussion section prepares to battle an opposing drum line, Jeremiah is, I guess, in his element. He loves it. He is so excited. His teachers are sometimes scared to teach him certain things in fear that he might not be able to play it. They don't want to overwhelm the little 5-year-old. But all of a sudden, Jeremiah will just start playing it. He can learn so quickly, and everybody is absolutely amazed by it. I guess when a normal school day ends, if Jeremiah is not watching Drumline, his mother says that he's actually looking for his cousin, Kenya Brooks, a member of the St. Helena College and Career Academy's percussion section. So he's always looking around for his cousin because Kenya was the first one to bring Jeremiah to the band room and show him all around. And so in their spare time, they are always playing the drums together, and they have a little bit of a big brother, little brother relationship. Kenya's really what got Jeremiah into this. His big cousin is also responsible for teaching Jeremiah all of his dance moves. He gets them all from him, and I guess they practice so they can show off in front of the crowds. Jeremiah loves the attention, but most of all, he loves just playing his drums. Since we're talking about amazing young kid stories, I just wanted to add in this quick little story about a Belgian boy. He's 9 years old, and he's now looking at universities in the United States because he is about to get his degree in electrical engineering from a university in the Netherlands. So yeah, he's 9 years old. He finished primary, secondary, and university within 5 years. He did this electrical engineering program in 9 months instead of 3 years. He is literally a genius. His goal now is to help create artificial organs to help people live because his grandparents have struggled with heart problems, and now he wants to help other people who might struggle with heart problems by creating artificial organs to prolong life. So yes, a 9-year-old little boy getting a degree in university, now looking at universities in the United States and wanting to create artificial organs to prolong life. I am just so amazed with all these crazy children's stories. I mean, what is in juice boxes these days? What are these parents feeding these kids? I mean, there's been more and more stories of young kids just doing incredible things and going way out of, what you could ever imagine. The sky is really the limit. The innovation of technology and the love from some high school students have brought light to a very gloomy time in a 17-year-old's life. William, a 17-year-old high school student, was diagnosed with leukemia last May and has not been able to attend school. So as he undergoes cancer treatments, he's been missing out on important high school experiences and lessons, and of course, socializing with his friends. We all know missing a day or two in school is stressful. So can you imagine having to go months and undergoing treatments and missing out all that work? How stressful that is. And then also those years are so crucial to socializing with friends and making new connections. But his peers at St. Mary's High School in Manhasset and his loving community have come together to get William back in school. So even though William isn't able to attend school physically, he's actually able to hang out with all of his friends and go to all of his classes as a robot. Yes, that is right, a robot. I know you're probably thinking, what do you mean, a robot? How is William a robot? How did this happen? Okay. So the $6,000 robot was donated by the Don Monte Foundation. The robot actually acts as William's eyes, ears, voice, and hands. So he's able to operate it remotely right from his home. So he can stay home, undergo all of his treatments, but still be present at school and still do all the experiences and hang out with all of his friends and not miss out on too much. Of course, it's different attending high school as a robot, I'm sure. Not that I have that experience, but I can only imagine. But how crazy is that? He can control the movement of the robot and see everything with a camera. And his sister Maria is very happy that her big brother gets to still walk her to her class. I just think that's amazing. It's also great for his family to be able to be around him, especially his little sister at school. So all the students are so supportive, and they think it's so cool to have William as a robot back in school. So not only is this allowing William to not be isolated at home after being in the hospital for 5 months, but he's able to make a connection with his peers still and not miss out on too much schoolwork. And all of the students are learning more and more about the innovation of technology. It is crazy. Like, to have a robot friend in school, I can't even imagine. I'm blown away. It's given everyone hope. William's parents were, of course, emotional, and they said it has lifted his spirits as well as ours, which is just great. This opportunity has put everyone in better spirits. There's been so much positive energy has been sent to the universe, and it looks like things are actually really looking up for William. It's given him a really positive outlook, and with all the prayers from everyone around him, he's actually been getting much better. The side effects from chemo are still hitting him, but William actually plans to graduate on time and then head off to NYU after graduation. It's just crazy, the innovation of technology these days. A life-changing situation for a 17-year-old boy has actually turned into something a little bit more positive, being able to attend school and seeing his friends and actually graduate on time. So I know we all get annoyed with technology. Our computer is slow, or our phone stops working, or we can't receive or send documents, and it seems like it's the end of the world, when we have that spinning wheel of death on our desktop and it's driving us absolutely nuts. But sometimes, and a lot of the time too, we think technology is taking over everything, which, sometimes it feels like it might be. But the innovation of technology is now advancing and touching hearts and bringing people closer together, especially in a time of need. The innovation of technology is just going crazy, but to not just help us, tech side with certain documents and our work and everything, but actually bring a warm spot in our heart, being able to be a robot in high school, that's pretty cool. And all of his friends think it's so cool. And it teaches the students, it teaches the young people what's capable, and if everyone comes together, they can make something beautiful out of a negative situation. And I think that's so wonderful. So next time that you're getting mad about the new update on your iPhone, just think back to Robot William. Technology can be amazing. So, have you ever been caller number 9 on a radio station? Or did something crazy like a radio contest and won tickets to a concert or an event that you were dying to go to? First of all, it feels really good to win something, especially when you're not expecting it. But on a radio station, it's just kind of cool. You get your voice on air, and it's like, oh yeah, I won free tickets to this artist that I love. It's exciting, right? Okay, so how would you feel if you won a baby? Okay, so let me rewind. That probably sounds a little weird. A radio DJ in Cape Coral, Florida, has made it his mission to help couples that are struggling with infertility. So, but no, you don't just get to be caller number 9 and they give you a newborn. It's not how it works. Couples can send in their story and get the chance to win a free round of vitro fertilization. So Jason Jones started the Win a Baby contest after he and his wife struggled with infertility themselves, and they shared their story on social media. So every single thing that they went through, they posted about it on their social media, all the doctor's appointments, shots, whatever they were doing, their entire journey, they made it public. They realized how many people actually struggle with this, and so such a difficult time, and they decided to share theirs. It actually opened his eyes just to the reality of how many people do really struggle with the same thing. 1 out of 8 people in the U.S. have problems getting pregnant or sustaining it. And nationally, an IFV can cost an average of $23,000 per cycle. And in most cases, it's not covered by insurance. So that's why he's made it his mission to help other couples. And now the very first winners of the contest have officially welcomed their baby boy, Garrett, into the world. Krista and Anthony Rivera's always wanted to start a family. It was their dream until they actually received some unexpected news. After only about 2 to 3 months into trying to have a kid, they got some life-alternating news. Anthony was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And after undergoing chemotherapy, Anthony was diagnosed with cancer a second time, which is when the doctors had to give them the news that they were not going to be able to have children. So the Riveras decided to freeze a sample of Anthony's sperm. So I can't imagine even just going through a difficult thing the second time to finding out that their dream of starting a family isn't going to be possible. It's heart-wrenching. But leave it to Jason Jones, also known as Big Mama, the radio DJ, to come to the rescue. So the couple sent in their story and were chosen as the winners of the contest. What really touched Jason's heart was that this couple dedicated their life to kids and they weren't able to have any of their own. So Krista is a middle school teacher and Anthony coached youth baseball. So he just felt like it was such a perfect fit for them to win the contest, devoting so much of their time to children and helping out children, and they weren't able to have a family on their own. Jason Jones just wanted to make a difference, and it worked. And so little baby Garrett is actually 3 months old now. The couple is happier than ever. And to make this uplifting story go a little higher, Anthony is now in remission and will be 2 years cancer-free in January. The second winners of this contest are actually undergoing IVF right now, and they are hoping to start their family very soon. So it looks like this contest is going to continue on creating amazing things for other families. So if that doesn't tug on your heartstrings or give you baby fever, I don't know what will. Thank you so much for listening to GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Alyssa Jo, and if these stories tugged on your heartstrings, just like they did mine, hit the subscribe button so you will be notified the next time there is another episode out. Do not forget to like and follow us on social media, as well as leave a 5-star review. Thank you so much, and I look forward to sharing more amazing stories with you next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts, America's Still Beautiful podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows. From the GSMC Podcast Network, from social media news to marketing news, and even weird news, the GSMC Podcast Network has you covered. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts, America's Still Beautiful podcast.